Build a self-watering SIP planter for cheap.
Alright, let's build a SIP planter for not very much money at all. What we're going to start with is a 5-gallon bucket. You can get these anywhere. Any big box store, you can find them for free. Ask somebody that you know that does painting or drywall. You can wash those buckets out and use them too. Fast food places, all kinds of places have 5-gallon buckets. You can get them cheap or free. With a 5-gallon bucket, we also need an inside vessel or container. This is a cheap plastic waste basket I picked up at one of the dollar stores. It works well, and so does if you're going to go to a box store and buy a 2-gallon bucket. Fits inside of a 5-gallon bucket just perfect. What we're looking for is a little space around the outside so that our perlite and cocoa can go down into the water that we're going to put in the bottom of this bucket. So as long as you have a little space, and we have space here about 5 or 6 inches, the 2 vessels will be just fine. Let's start by drilling a hole 6 inches or 15 centimeters from the bottom of the bucket. This will be our overflow hole. It will stop you from being able to overwater your plants, and you can use it as an indicator when you are adding nutrients and water as to how much you have, because you'll see it start to flow out and you know your bucket's full. None of this has to be super accurate. This is pretty much 6 inches. Now that we have our overflow hole drilled, let's move on to our inside container. This is one that I've actually used a few times. You can tell it's a little bit dirty. We're looking for a pattern of holes around the outside and several in the top. This allows the water to flow inside and fill this up to our 6-inch mark. If the container that you choose cracks when you try to drill it, you can use a soldering iron like I did on this one. It's a little faster and a little easier, especially when the plastic is really thin, but you can drill the thinner plastic. You just have to be super careful. There we go. Now we have our holes around the outside edge of the bottom. Now I'm going to put several down the sides so that the water can flow in. The secret that makes this system work is as the plant drinks your nutrients, the water level drops. And as the water level drops, it pulls fresh air in from the top of the bucket. That way, it pulls fresh air into your roots as your plant drinks. This system can be used indoor, outdoor, pretty much anywhere. The next to last piece we need to get ready is the fabric pot. This is a basic 5-gallon fabric pot. I chose orange because why not? We're going to take a pair of scissors and we're going to cut the bottom out. It doesn't have to be accurate, it doesn't have to be clean, it doesn't have to be pretty, it just has to allow the roots to go from the top of this all the way through into the bottom. And it's really not very hard to do. Just cut this around and boom. Now we have a holy pot. The last piece that you're going to need is a plastic pipe, about 16, 17 inches long. I like to use 3/4 inch thin wall schedule 20 PVC just because it's really cheap and I have it laying around. You can use pretty much any type of plastic pipe as long as it is large enough that you can pour water into the top and long enough to reach all the way to the bottom. The assembly and use is really easy. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our smaller bucket and we're going to put it inside of the bigger bucket. We're going to take the pipe and we're going to put it off to the side. Now what this pipe allows us to do is first we can add our water, nutrients, etc. here. They go directly to the bottom of the bucket, not compacting your soil. Second, This allows us to take a syringe with a tube and we can draw a sample and check our pH as we go. Next step is we fill with 50/50 cocoa perlite to about 2 inches over top of our inside bucket. Then we insert our fabric pot. The fabric pot will set on top of that soil, and then we'll finish filling it with cocoa perlite. And you have a completed SIP planter. It's that easy.